there. He's not invested. Jay Cutler couldn't give a rip if he throws a touchdown or an interception. Quite honestly, is simply looking at his facial expressions and running an opinion off of that. When we've had guys like Dominique Foxworth or Jermon Bushrod, who both played with him, said
you make me sick sometimes. You make me sick sometimes. Please, just be quiet and listen, because let me tell you something. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Number one, it ain't just about Jay Cutler's facial expressions. I got an 11-year track record with this brother. 11 years, one playoff appearance, 1-1 in a playoff, pedaling on a bicycle in an NFC Championship game instead of backpedaling in the pocket. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about coaches and
that's
teammates.
Not hyperbole. That's not hyperbole. I gave you facts. I just gave you facts. That's number one. Number two, I've spoken to several of his teammates who played for him. Have you? Have you talked to them? Have you listened to what they said about his lack of leadership? Number three, visit the teammates in Denver. Visit them in Chicago. Listen to what they have to say. They used to argue with me on behalf of Jay Cutler and called me to apologize or ran in front of me. You got that?
Listen,
I do. I'm telling you right now. No, zip it. I'm giving you facts. You don't get to speak right now. I gave you your because you accused it of hyperbole. Why? Because you got a stat sheet. Because you got a stat sheet and you read some stats. You ain't engaging in hyperbole.
Hey, listen.
Is Jay Cutler not? Hold on. Is Jay Cutler not and juxtaposed to Colin Kaepernick? Is Jay Cutler right now not the epitome of white privilege in the United States of America? What did he do to deserve this job? What did he do?
Listen now.
Is he better? Is he better? What did he do?
Could it be possible that these locker rooms, they're just in the realm of possibility, could it possibly be under the sun of this universe that there's people in these locker rooms that disagree with the guys that are talking to you? Could it be possible that Dominique Foxworth or Jermon Bushrod or Adam Gase or Herm Edwards, for that matter, have said,
I'd like to answer that question.
No. I'm not done.
I'd like to answer that question.
I'm not done. I've said this makes football sense and that Jay Cutler is a good teammate. How is it possible that someone could disagree with Stephen A. Smith or the people that talk to Stephen A. Smith?
They disagree with me all the time. They just end up wrong like you. They disagree with me. They disagree with me all the time. They just end up wrong like you. But in the end, to answer your question directly, I'm not saying that there are not players that wouldn't disagree with those players that I spoke to. But I coupled it with the facts I gave you about Jay Cutler. I didn't just sit there and say they said that about him. I gave you an 11-year history. This dude threw for 4,000 yards once. He had a good year 2 years ago with Adam Gase as his quarterback. He hasn't been interested. He's looked apathetic. You got anybody that covers the sport that knows it, but because Will Cain wants to be the ultimate contrarian, engaging in hyperbole while accusing others of doing it, he don't want to embrace the fact that Jay Cutler is not the argument that you want to make right here on First Take. You better find another subject. Jay Cutler ain't the answer.
And Jay Cutler's not the only.
Or Stephen A. Smith running to hyperbole. One of us is sharing the same opinion as Adam Gase. The other is saying he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. I'll let the audience decide. Am I a contrarian or are you being hyperbolic?
Let me tell you something right now. This ain't politics, baby. This is sports. I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you. That's number one. Number two, don't give me hyperbole when it comes to Jay Cutler when I gave you facts. You don't get to ignore the facts that I dropped on you. I gave you, hold on, I gave you facts. Number three, even if the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs, it doesn't mean it's going to be because of him.
This is so fun, but we got to go.
We also take into consideration, chill. The bottom line is this. When you look at Jay Cutler, he might be a byproduct of it. They may be successful in spite of him. It damn sure ain't going to be because of him.
Because he's
I'd like to judge one thing.
Please.
Stephen A. says he's the worst quarterback in football. Where do you rank him, Will? How would you describe Jay Cutler?
He's probably around, at this point, this year, where he will be, I'll give him around 20th.
Okay, I am closer to agreement.
Is this coming from the guy? Molly, he's talking like it's breaking news, and I'm going like this.
It's
about who you're going against.
It's
about who you're going against.
Is this coming from the same guy who moments ago somehow shoehorned into his pick of the Warriors the fact that Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time and calling me
the greatest shooter of all time? But you see the difference? I can say
Newsflash,
the greatest
Steph Curry's
shooter
on the Warriors.
of all time, Steph Curry.
Right.
That takes
Don't
5
throw
seconds,
stones.
unlike your soliloquies, which takes 5
Hey,
minutes.
I got
And
a
you
real
acting like
question.
we in a
Wait,
class
time
at
out.
Columbia.
Time out,
We're
time
not.
out, time
You
out.
want to put a clock on it?
Time out. This is fun, but I have a
Any
real
day
question.
of the week.
Stephen A., do you feel
Time
like...
the last segment. Someone
Guys,
at home,
can you all settle down, focus for a second? Do you guys feel like Draymond Green's going to be an X factor, though, keeping his emotions in check, playing well on both ends?
First of all, I'm always focused. Secondly, of course,
focused
Draymond
on
Green
what
is going
Molly's
to be a
saying.
factor. Okay, well, what Molly is saying or what Molly is asking. Because Molly is asking about Draymond Green, who had 20, 12, and 9. Molly is asking about a guy who can put up a triple-double. Molly is asking about a guy that repeatedly produces time and time again when all his weapons are there.
I was with you when we felt like he's cost them games before. That's why.
Let me tell you, I'll answer the question, Molly. Draymond Green is when we were arguing yesterday, sort of, who's the alpha of, who's